Emma sat alone at her desk in her small attic room, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows across her textbooks. English words stared back at her from every page: vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation. She sighed. She loved English. She dreamed in English sometimes, but studying alone was boring. She needed something more: entertainment, excitement, maybe a mystery to solve. As her eyes drifted to the dusty shelf, something caught her attention: a rectangular box she had never noticed before, tucked behind stacks of notebooks. On its cover, a faint golden emblem glimmered, the letters EW arranged like ancient runes. Underneath, the words were printed in elegant calligraphy: "Learn English with entertainment." Her heart quickened. Could this be a game? Emma gently pulled the box from the shelf. The corners were frayed, as if someone had played with it long ago. She blew off the dust. The box lid slid open with a soft creak. Inside lay a single DVD with no label and a small folded note: "Dear learner, you are invited to play. This game will test your English skills and your courage. Are you ready to unlock the path?" An old friend ***, Emma's breath caught in her throat. An old friend? She whispered, running her finger over the smooth surface of the note. Her pulse raced. She looked around the empty room. No one else was home. Still, curiosity burned inside her. She carefully took the DVD and climbed downstairs to the living room where the family computer glowed with its standby light. Her parents were at dinner, unaware. Emma inserted the DVD. On the screen, a darkened menu appeared: "Welcome to EW, the House of Words. Press Enter to begin, ****. Emma pressed Enter. The screen flickered. The room around her blurred, as if the edges of reality were melting. She rubbed her eyes, but when she looked again, she was no longer in the living room. Instead, she stood in a grand hallway of what looked like an old Victorian mansion. Tall portraits lined the walls, their subjects' eyes seeming to follow her every move. A dim chandelier swayed overhead as if moved by an unseen hand. The air was cool, and a smell of old wood mixed with dust and lavender. A low voice echoed through the hall: "Welcome, learner. Will you speak? Will you listen? Will you believe?" Emma's heart pounded. She realized she could still hold the note in her hand. The words glowed faintly: "Learn English with entertainment." She took a step forward. At the end of the hallway, a large wooden door stood slightly ajar. Written above it in golden letters was a phrase she instinctively understood: "Enter the parlor of phrases." As she pushed the door open, a rush of cold air greeted her. Inside was a lavish room with a roaring fireplace. Over the mantel hung a gilded frame with the word "Speak" carved into the wood. A plush red velvet chair faced her, empty. On a small table beside the chair, there lay an open book. Its pages fluttered as if turned by an invisible breeze. Emma approached and saw that each page contained a short English phrase with a clue: fill in the missing word, and the door to the next room would open. The first challenge read, "Fill in the blank." She _______ her dreams before going to bed. Choose, imagine/eats/writes, *** below. 3 buttons glowed softly. Emma recognized the words immediately. "Imagine," she whispered, touching the button. The moment she did, a soft click echoed in the room. The fireplace chimney rumbled, and the door at the far end of the parlor swung open. Emma held her breath. She had answered correctly. Without hesitation, she stepped through. The next room was a library. Shelves stretched to the ceiling, filled with dusty tomes. The word listen was etched in stone above the archway leading further inside. On a pedestal in the center of the room lay an old phonograph. Next to it, a note read, "Listen carefully to the phrase. Choose the correct transcription." A small speaker crackled to life, and a voice whispered, "I had a dream." Emma frowned. The phrase repeated, "I had a dream." Her pulse quickened. She looked at the three options printed on cards laid out on a nearby table. AI had dream / / I had dream / AI HD dream / She remembered her teacher explaining the difference between A and E. The phrase "I had a dream" began with the long I, followed by had. The word dream ended with M. So she picked option 1. As she placed her hand on the card, a hidden panel pushed aside, revealing a spiral staircase descending into darkness. Emma swallowed her fear. She took a deep breath and stepped down. With each step, the walls of the staircase seemed to whisper new words: hope, doubt, courage echoing in her mind. At the bottom, she found herself in a dimly lit chamber with the word believe glowing on the far wall. In the center was a pedestal with a glass dome covering a small scroll. Emma approached, curious. A voice deeper now spoke. "Only those who truly believe in the power of words shall proceed. Read aloud the phrase on the scroll, but first, choose the correct article. _____ opportunity knocks, but once. //. Emma's mouth went dry. She thought of her teacher's lessons. Before vowel sounds, English uses an opportunity begins with a vowel sound opportunity. So the correct phrase was "an opportunity knocks, but once." She whispered carefully, "An opportunity knocks, but once." The scroll's letters glowed, and the glass dome slid away. Emma picked up the scroll. On it was written a short poem, "Words build worlds, unseen yet true. Speak with heart, and words will guide you." As Emma read the final line, the chamber walls trembled. A hidden door swung open, revealing a long corridor lined with mirrors. In each mirror, Emma saw different versions of herself: a confident speaker standing before a classroom, a nervous student stumbling over pronunciation, an older woman writing letters to distant friends. The images flickered. At the far end was a final door labeled Explore. Emma stepped forward. The floorboards creaked under her weight, and her breathing echoed. Her reflection looked back at her, eyes filled with both fear and hope. She reached the door and pushed it open. Bright light flooded in. She shielded her eyes, and then the light dimmed to reveal a cozy study, lit by a single lamp. On a wooden desk lay a laptop showing her familiar desktop background, her own room, her own life. She breathed a sigh of relief. For a moment, she wondered if it had all been a dream. But on the desk beside the laptop lay the sealed box from which the DVD had come. The golden emblem glowed faintly, as if alive. Emma lifted the box. Inside, where the DVD had been, was now a small paper certificate that read, "Congratulations, Emma. You have completed EWE, the House of Words. You have spoken, listened, believed. May these skills guide your journey." An old friend. She held the certificate to her chest. Emotion welled in her eyes. The lonely hours spent studying English felt worthwhile now. Her heart fluttered. Was it relief? Joy? Pride? All at once. Then, from her laptop speakers, a familiar chime sounded. Her father's voice. "Emma, dinner's ready." Emma blinked. She realized the DVD was still in her hand, the certificate gently crumpled beneath her fingers. She rushed to close the box and slipped it into her backpack, not wanting her parents to see. She glanced at the laptop. A new folder had appeared on her desktop, labeled EW Achievements. Inside, she found 3 documents, spoken phrases, a recording of herself saying she imagines her dreams before going to bed, and an opportunity knocks but once. Her voice was clear, confident. Listening practice, a transcript of the phrase, "I had a dream," with phonetic markings and notes on vowel sounds. Words to live by, the poem she had read, now typed out with space for reflection. Emma's breath caught. She opened Words to Live By and saw a blank page below the poem, as if inviting her to add her own lines. She hesitated, then started to type. Words shape worlds unseen. Hope and courage are the keys. Speak with heart so all may dream. She smiled. The words felt true. Her journey in the mansion had taught her that English was not just about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It was magic, a way to open doors, to connect hearts. That evening at dinner, Emma was quieter than usual. Her parents noticed. "Are you okay, honey?" her mother asked, setting down a bowl of soup. Emma took a deep breath. "I found something today," she said, glancing at her backpack. "I think it was a game, but it wasn't just a game. It helped me understand English in a new way." Her father raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" She looked at them and smiled, her cheeks flushed with excitement. "It felt like I was inside a story. I had to speak phrases, listen carefully, believe in words, and each challenge helped me practice English without even thinking about textbooks. It was emotional, scary sometimes, but I learned so much." Her parents exchanged glances. "Sounds like an adventure," her mother said softly. "It was," Emma whispered, thinking of the dark corridors and whispering mirrors. "And I'm not the same. I feel more confident. I know that English is more than just rules. It's a way to tell stories, to share dreams." Her father nodded, pride shining in his eyes. "We're proud of you. But what about your math homework?" he teased. Emma laughed, the sound light and genuine. "I'll get to it tomorrow. Tonight, I want to finish that poem." Later, after dinner, Emma locked herself in her room and opened the Words to Live By document again. She reread the poem she had typed and added a few more lines. "Through silent halls I wandered deep, heard words that woke me from my sleep. Now English guides my heart and mind. With every word, new worlds I find." She closed her eyes, imagining the mansion's flickering torches, the weight of the scroll in her hand, the knowing voice that had guided her. She realized that learning English could be an adventure every single day if she let it. She could read stories, watch movies, speak with friends around the world. She could believe in the power of words to build bridges between people. That night, Emma dreamed again. In her dream, she stood at the threshold of a grand library with books flying around her. Each book whispered a phrase: courage, friendship, hope. She smiled and stepped forward, ready for the next chapter. Vocabulary notes. These notes appeared in the EW Achievements folder to help Emma and any learner remember keywords and phrases from the story. Imagine, verb, to form a picture or idea in your mind. Example, she imagines her future as an English teacher. Phrase, noun, a group of words that have a particular meaning when used together. Example, the phrase break a leg means good luck in theater. Transcription, noun, a written record of spoken language using phonetic symbols. Example, The teacher provided a phonetic transcription of I had a dream to help with pronunciation. Article, noun, an, or the words that come before a noun to define it as specific or unspecific. Example, an opportunity uses and because opportunity begins with a vowel sound. Courage, noun, the ability to do something that frightens one. Example, it took courage for Emma to step into the dark corridor. Pronunciation, noun, the way in which a word is pronounced. Example, good pronunciation helps people understand you better. Whisper, verb, to speak very quietly. Example, the voice whispered instructions in the library. Echo, verb, a sound that is repeated because it bounces off the surface. Example, Emma's footsteps echoed in the empty hallway. Reflection questions.
Emma's teacher encouraged her to write responses in a separate notebook as part of her learning process. Which challenge did you find most difficult? Filling in the blank, choosing the correct transcription, or picking the right article? Why? How did the poem Words Build Worlds, Unseen Yet True make you think differently about learning
English? Describe a time when using English helped you connect with someone or understand something new. Create your own suspenseful mini-scene, 50 to 100 words, using at least 2 new vocabulary words from this story. As the first light of dawn crept through Emma's curtains, she felt a warmth in her chest. The adventure she had experienced, whether real or a dream, had changed her. She no longer dreaded studying alone. Instead, she felt eager to explore new ways to learn English, reading mysterious stories, listening to podcasts with suspenseful tales, watching films with subtitles, practicing pronunciation with friends. She realized that learning could always be entertaining as long as she was willing to step through the door. Emma stood at her window, looking out at the street below. The world seemed full of possibilities, each one waiting to be named with a word, each one waiting for her to learn and believe. She whispered to herself, "Every word is a key." A smile spread across her face as she stepped away from the window, ready to begin her day, ready for the next adventure in English, guided by her heart and by words.